And today I will be presenting the article approved emerging hormone-based anti-obesity medications. And it is from Dr. Sidrak from her colleague from the Indian Journal of Endocrinology and Metabolism. And this article provides a comprehensive overview of both approved and investigational hormone-based anti-obesity medications, or AOMs in short, and highlighting their mechanisms, clinical efficacy, and regulatory developments. And so some background of the obesity medications. So obesity is a chronic heterogeneous disease. And it has significant morbidity and mortality. And recent advances have deepened our understanding of the GI hypothalamic axis and its role in appetite and energy regulation. And this had led to the development of hormonal therapies targeting the GLP-1, GIP, glucagon, and other peptides as novel pharmacologic options for weight management. And as you can see in the paragraph, in the graph, so we have the it's the other way. Yeah, we have the both the two pathway in our head. So the medication is GLP-1 targeting this part. So two examples are semaglutide and liraglutide. So we either to inhibit the hunger signal or increase the satiety signal in our brain. And then for GLP-1 RAs, such as I mentioned, the liraglutide and semaglutide have reshaped the obesity treatment paradigm. Liraglutide, marketed as Saxenda, demonstrates 5 to 8% weight loss, while semaglutide has shown up to 15% in the STEP trials. They both from the Novo Nordisk company. And there are also some oral tablets are developing, including semaglutide, danuglipron, and orforglipron. They are currently being developed to enhance the accessibility and adherence. Also the Eli Lilly company developed the tirzepatide, dual agonist of the GLP-1 and the GIP, which is the glucose-dependent insulinotropic polypeptide receptors. So they're targeting both the pathways which approved under the brand name Mounjaro. So it demonstrated combining the effects, demonstrated exceptional efficacy in the clinical trial, which is as I shown on the slide. It is the phase 3 clinical trial that evaluates the efficacy and safety of the medication, which has a weight reduction of 17.8%. Its mechanism favors the GIPR signaling, interestingly, which may contribute to synergistic effects on appetite and metabolic regulation. For GLP, GCGR dual agonists, such as survodutide, mazdutide, and pemvidutide, they leverage the glucagon pathway to enhance energy expenditure and improve lipid metabolism. So they are not only targeting the pathway, they also enhancing the energy metabolism. So some of these compounds have received the fast track status from the FDA, particularly for the NASH, stands for non-alcoholic steatohepatitis, for that treatment, but they also, because they help with the metabolism, so they also help with the obesity. So highlighting the dual utility. There is also triple agonists like retatrutide target all three incretin receptors, like I mentioned in the graph, including GLP-1, GIP, and GCGR simultaneously. So in a phase 2 trial, retatrutide achieved up to 24.2% body weight reduction, which can compete with the bariatric surgery outcomes. Eli Lilly has advanced it into phase 3 trials for individuals with both obesity and cardiovascular disease. So there is also amylin receptor agonists, in short AMYRAS, such as cagrilintide offer an alternative appetite regulation pathway. So when used alone, it can produce 10.8% weight loss, and in combination with semaglutide, the combination termed cagri-sema, it has shown synergistic reductions up to 17.1%. Early phase of the dual amylin and calcitonin receptor agonist agents are also being developed for dual amylin and calcitonin receptor targeting. For PYY, the peptide YY analogs targeting the Y2 receptor represents another innovative direction. So these agents reduce appetite and may offer improved tolerability. And future approaches may combine PYY analogs with GLP-1RAs and GIP agonists or amylin to create more effective multi-pathway therapies. So there are some challenges in AOM development despite the progresses. So some key challenges remain, like heterogeneity in patient responses. So first, not all patients respond equally to GLP-1 based or multi-agonist therapies, because there are some factors such as patients have genetic variability, they have different gut microbiota, they have different baseline BMI, and they might have insulin resistance and sex differences, and those factors could all affect the efficacy in different patients. And some patients may experience GI intolerance, minimal weight loss, or fail to maintain lifestyle interventions after the weight loss therapy. And so there is also some uncertainty in long-term safety. So all the trials I mentioned were short-term trials, which is less than 72 weeks. So they have shown the favorable safety profiles, but long-term effects, especially relating to the pancreatitis, thyroid C-cell tumors, and renal function, they remain under the observation. And most current data are from controlled environments, but real-world long-term data post-approval are still limited. And also we have to consider the cardiovascular risk and regulatory problems following the concerns raised by earlier agents, such as rosiglitazone. The FDA mandates cardiovascular outcomes trials with CVOTs for all weight loss agents with potential glucose-lowering effects. The select trial, such as for semaglutide and surpass CVOT for tirzepatide, are examples of how regulators now require MACE, which is major adverse cardiovascular events data, for approval and label expansion. There is positive CVOTs can support indications broadening, but they are costly and time-consuming. And also, companies have to consider the cost effectiveness and access, like novel agents like tirzepatide and semaglutide 2.4 milligram are expensive, and the insurance coverage remains inconsistent, and cost effectiveness modeling is crucial for broader reimbursement. Payers often require prior authorization. That means they have to use other medications first and then go to the new treatments, and they have to go through BMI thresholds and proof of failure on lifestyle therapy alone. Weight gain after the discontinuation is a very serious consideration, because the therapy has its period, and after that is if the patient they go back to their before lifestyle, it doesn't help with their weight gain, and they can have more severe adverse effects and resistance than before when they face another treatment. And this indicates obesity is a chronic and complicated condition, and long-term pharmacologic management may be necessary, similar to hypertension or hyperlipidemia. So for healthcare providers, personalization is the key. Based on characteristics and combining conditions and tolerance profiles should guide agent selection. Lifestyle intervention, like I mentioned, must remain a core component. Regular monitoring is important too, particularly for cardiovascular markers, mood. Also, is a factor, and metabolic labs, which is also vital, and ongoing patient education improves outcomes and adherence. So first, which brought me to this topic, because I saw some advertisements online, which raised my concern. So nowadays, patients, or maybe not patients or potential patients, they go to the aesthetic clinic or plastic surgery clinic. They can easily get these medication. So NP can prescribe the medication. So that raised some concern, how do they monitor the adverse side effects? How do they contain the long-term monitoring, and also how do they raise the comprehensive treatment for the patient, because most of them are profit-driven businesses, and they can easily provide those medication prescriptions for basically anybody. And you can easily get it through a teleconsult online. So initially, I was interested in this topic by those issues. So GLP-1 based drugs like Mounjaro, shown in the picture, it is in Chinese, sorry, but it means they say it is a magical pen. Because they has shown the remarkable clinical efficacy in managing the obesity. Excuse me. So so I think so this raised the concern for all the healthcare professionals, and also the FDA and the federal trade market. They have to keep tracking and developing a way to how to regulate the market. And this is my conclusion for my presentation. So first, I mentioned the GLP-1, and there is also dual and triple agonists in this new era. And there are promising efficacy at most as 25% can comparing to a surgical effect. And there is also future precision and combo therapies for us to develop, and also the raising ethical issues I mentioned. That's my references. And thank you if you have any questions.
Thank you, intern.